Alright guys, it's time to find out what I bought. And if you got real good ears, you probably already know what it is just by listening to it in the background over there. But anyway, it is red. And it is a Massey Ferguson. And it has a 936X self-leveling loader, and it is a 4710. Basically the same tractor that I did a review on last year. I like that tractor pretty good, and this is a tractor that I settled on. I didn't want to get a tractor that was a whole lot bigger than this. Now, I looked at a 5610 that was used. I told y'all about that. You know, but that's getting up to be about the same size as the P5. And I don't really want another tractor that big for what I'm using it for. So that's why I went with this size. You know, I like the lower profile of this tractor. You know, it's got a little bit smaller tires on it, so it makes it lower, because I do a lot of driveway work, y'all know that. You know, I do a lot of, with that TN, I did a lot of utility type work that required a smaller dimensions, shorter tractor. So, you know, I was just, you know, like I said before, I prayed about this a whole lot, and this is the tractor that all the doors kept opening up to, and the other tractors that I looked at, just the doors kept closing off. So this is what I ended up with, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'm still trying to get used to it. I got a yard rake on the back of it here, turn around backwards. I was cleaning up a tree that fell down yesterday, and there was limbs and stuff busted up everywhere. But today, you can see this morning I've got some logs here in the grapple. This isn't my grapple, by the way. I'm just kind of trying it out. It belongs to one of my friends, and he really likes it, so I was trying it out. And it works good for, works better than mine for some things and not as good as mine for others. This particular job here, carrying logs, I don't believe it works quite as good. It's not as long on the bottom, and it don't carry quite as many logs, but it does pick up stuff better. These up here meet with this down here better, and these are a little closer together. It's easier to pick up small stuff, which is nice when you're cleaning up limbs and stuff. But anyway, back to the tractor. It's got basically every option on it. I got front fenders on it. I got soft ride on it, and it is a mechanical soft ride. You turn it on and off here. Well, I mean, mechanical in the way that you have to turn it on and off out here. They do not offer electronic on and off on this size tractor. Even though the tractor is already wired for it, the loader just doesn't offer it on the loader. Now my dealer says that I could probably add it, because all you got to change is that valve out there to an electronic valve. Now, one thing is different about this tractor. One of the things that I did not like about this 4710 series when I reviewed it was that you couldn't see up. It had a vents, air conditioner vents right here to blow on the window, and then this thing was sticking down, well, like it is here, and you could not see up to see the loader when you raise it all the way up. Well, this tractor obviously doesn't have that problem, because it is what they call a Visio cab, and that resolved that issue. When you raise the loader all the way up, you can see it right through here, and that was one of the main concerns I had with the tractor that I had reviewed. I better turn the radio down so I don't get copyrighted here. But it does, you know, it has a 12-speed transmission. That's the only thing they offer in this tractor. That was the other thing that I was concerned about when I was reviewing. But what I learned was doing some research on my own here, I compared the 12-speed transmission in this tractor to the 12-speed transmission in my TN95. You got to remember, I'm comparing this tractor to a TN95, not the T5. It's not as nice of a tractor as a T5, and I didn't expect it to be as nice as the T5. You know, this is a $58,000 tractor. The T5 is a $100,000 tractor. That was another thing that was a big deciding factor, you know, in my in my head was, you know, I had to be able to financially afford this thing, and while I'm making payments on the T5, you know, so I had to be careful with what I bought. But anyway, back to the transmission. When you compare the 12-speed and the TN95 to the 12-speed in this tractor, well, there really ain't no comparison, because the first 4 gears in the TN95 is under 1 mile per hour. Actually, fourth gear in it was like 1.2 miles per hour, and then all the gears below it are below 1 mile per hour. Now that's good in certain situations, like blowing snow. That was good, but other than that, I don't need, other than blowing snow, I don't need gears below 1 mile per hour doing hay. So this tractor actually, first gear starts out where fourth gear did on the TN, and then so this tractor has 6 gears that are in the same range that the TN had in from fourth gear to sixth to fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th, 8th gear. So there's actually more gears within the working range of this transmission for baling hay than there was on the TN, because of the way it's speeded different. And as a matter of fact, I compared it to my T5, and the T5's gears are geared exactly like this transmission until you get to it has, you know, 8 gears starting at 1 mile per hour to 5 mile per hour. It has 8 gears, and this one has 6 gears from 1 miles per hour to 5 miles per hour, or 6 miles per hour, right in there. 5 miles per hour. So it only has 2 less gears in the working range that I'm looking at, and those 2 gears, they get, it's hard to explain, but those 2 gears are up there in a higher speed that I'm missing, that I don't use when I'm square baling. And that was the only thing I was concerned about with 12-speed was square baling. So I know that was hard to follow, and I'll try to explain it better later on when I got more time. But anyway, the gearing is really close to the T5 16 speed and the working range that I need it in. So that's the main point that I'm trying to make here. I went way around the bush trying to get that point across, but anyway, we turn our air conditioner on. Oh, another thing you get when you get this Vision or the Vizio roof is you get more Freon in the air conditioner. The air conditioner is bigger, so it holds more Freon for more cooling to help with the extra heat that comes in into the cab. So I know a lot of you are wondering why I went with a Massey Ferguson instead of a New Holland. Well, let me put you over here on the pillar so I can work while I talk to you. Alright. So why did I buy a Massey Ferguson over a New Holland? Well, in this size tractor, in a 4,000 size tractor, this is the 4700, this is comparable to a T4 New Holland. Alright, I've already owned the T4 New Holland one time. That tractor was, it really did not, me and it did not get along. It had a lot of problems right off the get-go. and then it had annoying problems the whole time I owned it, and it just kind of burnt me out on it. I did not want to buy another T4 New Holland tractor, and that's basically the reason I didn't get a New Holland tractor. The second reason is the dealer that sells these Massey Ferguson tractors is the same dealer that I buy my New Holland tractors from. This is another big determining factor. Big reason that I went with a Massey Ferguson is because I already know this dealer. I know they're not going to leave me out in the cold if something happens to this tractor. I know a lot of you are concerned about attitude adjuster and his big conglomeration of whatever was going on. I watched his video, and I mean, honestly, I think I was more confused after I watched his video than I was, but before I watched it, well, I know I was. But anyway, I was not concerned about him or anything that happened there. He's in Australia. Who knows what dealer he's dealing with. I know my dealer. I've talked to them about this. He said he has no problem getting AGCO to help him fix tractors. He said he's been fixing them for years, working on with AGCO for years. And he said it's not any different than New Holland to him. He said, as a matter of fact, in some ways they're better than New Holland to work with. So I'm not concerned about the support for this tractor. I know my dealer is he's the kind of person that'll come out and work on it now and get it going before he'll even contact AGCO, because he's so sure that they will back him up. He's not worried about it. He'll get this tractor going, and then he'll talk to AGCO about it. You know, it's and I mean, unless it's something major, you know, if it's something little, you know, he's going to help me out. I know it. So I'm not concerned about the service part of it. You know, the T4 is taller than this tractor. You know, I didn't like that. This, you know, this tractor sets low like my TN, and that was one thing I liked about the TN was it was a low tractor, and I could get under trees and do work and stuff and do utility type work. So now some of you I know wanted me to get a Kubota. Well, I looked at Kubota. I looked at Kubota pretty hard. Here's two problems with Kubota. And I don't have any fault against the tractor itself. I actually kind of like the tractor. And I could have got that tractor in a 24-speed. But the problem was, it was just out of my budget. My budget was around $60,000. And that tractor they wanted $67,500 for it. So that tractor was just out of reach. I didn't feel that it was a nicer tractor than this. Actually, I felt the interior was cheaper than this tractor as far as quality. I mean, the dash on this tractor looks nicer. To me, I know this is just opinion, but to me the dash looks nicer. The levers feel, the hydraulic levers feel more robust. And look, all the freaking cows are getting out. Daggone it. This tractor is heavier by quite a bit. Well, it's not quite a bit. It's like 1,500 pounds or something like that. Which is, you know, to me, weight equals, you know, robustness, or you know, where's that weight at? It's weight in the transmission and the engine is missing on the Kubota, which I know you don't need a real heavy tractor for doing hay. But anyway, I don't want to get into any arguments here. But, okay, the other thing that bothered me about the Kubota, the weight didn't really bother me that bad, but it is something that I noticed. The other thing about the Kubota is that dealer, or my local dealer, which is still an hour away, or 40 minutes, the service department I do not have confidence in at all. You know, I bought a lawnmower off of them, and that was a disaster. It had problems, and they could not help me. They would not help me, and I was very aggravated about that deal, and it's all documented on my channel. So most of you probably already know about that. Daggone it. I gotta get the cows back in here. Scared the shit out of that one. But anyway, that's why I didn't buy a Kubota. It's not because I don't like the tractor. It's just mainly because out of the price range, and dealer support is just not there with my local dealer. I do like the salespeople there. I like the salesman. I get along good with the salesman, and he's very helpful, and his pricing is very straightforward. That's why I bought the mower, because of that. But then, you know, when I got into the service deal, it was just a no-go. So anyway, here I am in my new Massey Ferguson 4710 with Vizio cab, and so far I'm happy. Oh, I got air ride seat. You know, there's not a lot of options you can get on this tractor. Got air ride seat, front fenders, third function valve, of course. You can see I'm running the grapple, and I got the soft ride suspension on the loader. And that was all. I had a third remote valve added to the back. That was all that I had added to the tractor. The tractor was on the dealer lot, and it took, you know, I knew this tractor was there, but it still took me almost a month to make a decision on what tractor to get. And, you know, here it is over a month later from the time I started trying to decide what I wanted before I actually have the tractor. It's been like close to 2 months. Now I have the tractor in my possession. So anyway, I'd like to hear what you got to say in the comments. I'm sure some of you are happy, some of you are mad, but this is what I got, and it is what it is. I like it. I think it'll do what I need it to do, which is mainly pull a hay rake and load square bales of hay on my trailer with my grapple, and then utility work, driveway work, tree trimming, grapple work, stuff like that, whereas a bigger tractor is just not really needed. If I need a bigger tractor, I have a T5 120 and I have the T6030, and those two tractors are great. They do good, and you know, for bigger work, there they are. I got them. For smaller work, I'll use this tractor. Do I wish it had a power shift Dyna 4 in it? Yeah, I do. I wish they offered it in this size tractor, but they don't. In order for me to get a Dyna shift tractor, I would have had to have bought used, because that tractor is up in the $70,000-$80,000, like a 5711 or something like that would be pushing 80 grand or more. So that's just out of the, you know, that was out of the budget completely. This tractor, you know, it fit the budget. Yeah, it's a manual transmission, but so is the TN95, and I never had an issue with having a manual transmission. I don't mind the manual transmission. So, I think it's going to work out good, and we'll talk to you guys later. And you're going to see plenty of this tractor, and I'll give you my honest thoughts on it as I use it and do things with it. But right now we're going to go chase some cows with it. Let's see how that works out. Talk to y'all later. Got these cows trained pretty good. Once you get them going in the right direction, they'll go right back in the gate. But this is about an everyday thing for us anyway. They get out, we put them back. They get out, we put them back. Got one stubborn one here. Really liking that green grass.